That was this is not from Rifkin. This is the idea from Germany, the German policy at the time. They said, okay, well, we can grow the economy without increase of energy. It's
So,
not necessary.
concept of former sentence, we need to consider for how to control supply instead of demand.
Right. How can we
So-
convert supply?
Control demand and we want to also control supply.
Right.
And centralized and distributed means
So centralized meaning the big energy corporations
huge
to a
power
decentralized.
plant to more smaller
Right.
generation.
Right.
Okay, understand.
Right. So efficiency and consumption targets. Efficiency targets. Primary energy consumption base should actually be reduced. Base year is 2008. In 2014, they reduced primary energy
What do you
consumption.
mean primary energy? Like nuclear power plant, a kind of huge
Right.
energy consumption?
Plant? Yeah, exactly. So just whatever you use to heat your house, to drive your car, to produce goods in factories, all that energy that's being
You
used.
said consumption means is users. What do you mean?
Consumption. Well,
volume,
usage-
volume of usage.
So that's volume of usage. So basically, the amount of gas, oil, and coal that is being absorbed.
It means 2050 we're going to reduce to half.
Yes. Right. And that means reducing the consumption. For example, the waste that is the waste that is now, for example, in current housing, not through lack of isolation, the way that we are.
What's the difference between primary energy and the third line, gross electricity consumption? This is third line electricity. First
yes.
line is including everything.
Right. So basically, primary energy
Reduce
consumption is oil. That's all the fossil fuels.
So fossil fuel is reduced because
Right.
of electricity.
Exactly.
Reduced. It means the other one is instead of electricity. What is the other one?
So we have the primary energy consumption that base year 2008. That is the fossil fuels. Final energy productivity. Energy productivity means that basically the amount of energy that you need to put into, for example, let's very simple example that the way that they actually measure this the energy efficiency is how much energy it takes to raise the water temperature with 1 degree. It's a kind of like a standard in physics. So that energy productivity through the uses of technology, will be able to use less and less energy to actually achieve this. So that basically this is an indication of how well we are successful in actually generating or using our natural resources without heat loss.
But by the way, what does mean gross electricity consumption reduce?
Gross electricity.
What does mean? It means 25% at 2050, right?
Yes.
And
So we're going to reduce energy of electricity consumption.
what the other consumption? What other consumption? Electricity.
Electricity. We have, for example, gas, oil.
Wait a minute, gas, oil is electricity.
No. We also use oil to drive engines. We use oil.
Oh, drive engines. Oh, I see.
Or factories or.
It means electricity means nuclear power plant or.
Yeah, everything. Well, basically, we use a lot of energy to create a lot of different sources of energy to create electricity. So we use oil, we use coal, we use wind, water, water power. We use natural heat that comes up from the earth, thermal heat. We use sunlight to generate electricity. but so there's also something to be gained if we can actually reduce the amount of electricity that we need.
So just directly usage for combustion engine is not electricity.
That's not electricity. That's not electricity.
And the following is primary energy consumption in buildings.
In buildings, yeah.
Will be 80% reduce?
Yes, by 2050. To make buildings much more energy efficient. They are the biggest source of CO2. Buildings. The way that we heat our buildings and all the energy that we use inside of our buildings, they are the biggest source of energy, ahead of transportation, ahead of agriculture.
So last line, final energy consumption in transport.
Right.
It means transport means
trucks, private cars.
I know. How they want to reduce energy consumption?
Well, I think a lot of it will be by increasing the efficiency, by reducing the number of vehicles that we are that we need to use through car sharing.
Number of vehicles.
And by making the cars that we are using more energy efficient. So we're now using oil and diesel and all kinds of.
Well, they can reduce energy consumption.
And that means EV?
That means EV. That means EV, but also electricity needs to be generated. But basically, if we start to engage in car sharing, if we
car sharing.
if we
car sharing.
Then the number of cars that we need is estimated that we only need about 20% of the cars that we are currently using. So in the future, the number of cars that will be drastically reduced. So I actually think that minus 40% is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
That's actually quite disappointing. Well, car sharing, etc.
Is this Europe?
This is Germany.
Germany.
This is Germany. These are the plans.
German targets.
Yes, these are the targets for Germany. So Germany is already like they have been thinking about this since 1980. They're very much ahead of the game. But what happens if Germany is actually successful and if they have finalized this transformation? It will give them a very unique and strong position in terms of competitiveness, because the marginal costs that they need in order to for their communication, transportation, and power generation platform will go to the marginal costs will almost go to zero. That means that they will not be trapped, for example, in the rising oil prices, and that will give Germany a competitive leg up versus other countries.
I don't understand. Marginal cost zero? What do you mean?
Okay. Let me allow me to come back to that, because that's going to be a big topic. Let's have a look at Germany.
Germany is in transition. One of the world's largest economies is pursuing an ambitious goal: switching to renewable energy. With a complete transformation of its energy infrastructure, the German energy market is entering a new age. Intelligent ideas, resolute action, and political will have made Germany a front-runner. Since the early 1990s, both companies and citizens have been investing in solar, wind, and bioenergy power plants. These investments are supported by an attractive and stable legal framework. Germany's energy revolution is well underway and moving forward with great momentum. More than 1.5 million renewable power plants have been installed in Germany over the past 25 years, a world record. Renewables now produce over 27% of the electricity consumed in Germany. But this is just the beginning. Germany's energy transition is pursuing ambitious goals. It is planned that by 2050, the emission of greenhouse gases will have been reduced by 80 to 95%. To achieve this, energy consumption will be reduced by 50%, and at least 80% of electricity will come from renewables. Offshore wind, onshore wind, and solar are the future pillars of Germany's energy supply. Sun and wind are fluctuating energy sources. Variations in generation caused by the weather must be balanced out. This means integrating renewable energy into the energy infrastructure is the main challenge. The existing electricity grid needs to be adapted, and grid participants need to be able to communicate in an intelligent network, a smart grid. More storage capacity for renewable energy needs to be built, and large investments will be needed to improve energy efficiency further. The fluctuating supply of electricity from renewables requires upgrades to be made to the entire power grid. An investment of over 35 billion euros is planned for the construction of high-voltage transmission lines, electricity autobahns, from the wind-rich north to major industrial regions. Large investments are also planned for the local distribution grids, as well as for new communication technologies that will quickly identify any bottlenecks. A transmission control center near Berlin constantly monitors energy flows through the grid to maintain the balance between production and consumption around the clock.
We have managed to integrate renewables into the market by employing innovative solutions, namely excellent forecasting tools, so that the market supply reflects what the consumers require. The way we have solved these issues so far makes me confident that we will continue to do so in the future. But in the next phase, increasing generation from renewables further, we will need to keep on innovating.
Energy storage systems are another key to integrating and using renewable energy optimally.
Siemens.
Large battery systems already help to stabilize the grid by compensating for fluctuations in real time. With an increasing share of fluctuating energy sources, the need for short as well as long-term energy storage grows.
Some people still accuse battery storage technologies of being too expensive and of not being able to compete with other power plants. We're proving the exact opposite right here because we also expect battery prices to drop significantly over the next couple of years. The advantage is that with 5 megawatts of battery storage, we are able to replace 50 megawatts of conventional power plant capacity.
The falling cost of solar power is making energy storage increasingly attractive for private households too. This led to around 10,000 solar battery systems being installed in German households in 2014 alone. Experts expect the market to expand tenfold by 2018.
In recent years, the energy transition and the significant commitments made by the federal government have led to a lot of photovoltaic installations. The next step in this value chain is energy storage, where we see massive potential for batteries in the coming years.
Increasing energy efficiency in all sectors is another pillar of the energy transition. Germany is one of the world's leading industrial nations in this field. The country already consumes less primary energy than 25 years ago. Energy consumption is becoming increasingly decoupled from economic growth. Buildings account for around 40% of Germany's energy consumption.
So, actually, we were talking.
はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日はブーキューブさんのスタジオに来て、 この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で特に経団連が作成しました、留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないと、ここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる、専門性を持つ、英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアースということ、それからもう一つは孫子の平和、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって、皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えております。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師が話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えてますので、学習の午後はですね、日本のプログラムをしております。以前はこれ有料だったので、今はですね、実際に会場費も取っていただいておりませんで、毎回5000円ということで、朝9時から午後5時までやっておりますので、ぜひ皆さんですね、ご検討の上ご参加いただければと。英語のできない方もですね、学習の午後、こういうふうな検証をしておりますので、ぜひご参加いただければというふうに思っておりますので、よろしくお願いします。で、ここにさらにですね、グループ討議とか実務の勘どころを教えると書いてありますけど、実際には私が10年ほどですね、欧米の新聞とか雑誌等をですね、集めてきた、もともと英語のベースでございますので、そうしたものをですね、50セッションのテーマに分けて資料作成をしております。そういうことで、世界のオペレーション、もしくはカントリーリスクも含めてですね、しかも世界のトップの方々に対しても、いろいろな分析とか洞察をしてですね、議論をしております。そういったことも含めてですね、今後ともよろしくお願いしたいと思います。以上で私の挨拶を終えますが、今回のこのビデオの収録にあたってはですね、V キューブさんのスタジオをお借りしてですね、お時間を頂戴して、このビデオを作成させていただきました。よろしくお願いします。どうもありがとうございました。